Stephanie Matto, who appeared on 90 Day Fiancé, launched a business selling her jarred farts and made over $200,000. But she had to quit after she experienced gas pain so bad.
That is a grown woman on a podcast with sponsors, explaining that she personally netted 200,000 American dollars by releasing gas into glass containers and shipping them via common carrier to strangers in the continental United States and beyond. And the first thing I want you to understand before we move 1 inch further in this video is that Stephanie Matto did not stumble into this. She engineered it. She forecasted it. Stephanie Matto is not a reality star who became an entrepreneur. Stephanie Matto is an entrepreneur who briefly rented a reality show to build a distribution channel.
It's for everyone who nobody else wants our services. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the channel about initially?
It was about my relationships, my sex life, and I remember like the first viral video I have.
Before 90 Day, she was a YouTuber, a small one. Chronic illness vlog, lifestyle content, the usual parasocial starter pack, candles, cardigans, personal disclosures that feel intimate and are structured like ad reads. Then TLC calls. Because TLC has a machine that converts niche audiences into mainstream audiences. And Stephanie, I want to be very clear about this, understood the machine better than TLC.
She was living in Australia, and I went on a plane to meet her for the first time, and it went terrible. It went so bad. I mean, I was one of like the most hated people on my season. I was the villain of my season, basically.
So in 2020, on Before the 90 Days, Stephanie flies to Australia to meet Erika Owens. Erika is an Instagram photographer. Erika is soft, sincere, in love, and flying. I cannot stress this enough. Completely blind into the airspace of a woman who is not emotionally available, not physically available, and has not told her own mother any of this is happening. Erika is the emotional investor. Stephanie is the LLC. These are not the same type of entity. One of them has a fiduciary duty. Guess which?
I mean, I call it Toots.
Yeah, my mom used to say toot.
Toots McGee.
That's like old school, like prudent type stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Toots McGee. Who the hell is that?
One of my fans.
Oh, okay.
There it is. I don't know how to tell my mom. 48 hours into the trip, on camera, with a woman who flew 10,000 miles for her. That is not a closet. That is a content pivot being negotiated in real time, live with lighting. And what nobody on Reddit is saying, what I will say confidently, because I have watched every season of this franchise and I have been a woman with a laptop, is that Stephanie's whole career is one move. The move is find a thing, monetize the thing, burn out the thing, pivot. The Erika arc is not a love story the franchise ruined. The Erika arc is the proof of concept for everything that comes after.
And I ordered some like little flower petals to put into the jars because I wanted to give that visual illusion and feeling that there's something physical in the jar. And so like I had this whole like concept and idea.
Erika gets to Australia. Erika wants to kiss her girlfriend. Stephanie has the facial expression of a woman being asked to co-sign a 12-year commercial lease. The reason the physical intimacy never lands, and this is my take, nobody has made this, the Therapist Reacts videos missed it, is not some complicated closeted trauma. It is that Stephanie knows, correctly, that an unconsummated queer relationship on 90 Day Fiancé is a better storyline than a consummated one. Tension is a product. Release is the end of the subscription. Erika is on a trip. Stephanie is at work. The trip is Erika's vacation. The trip is...
I'm on 90 Day Fiancé, the single life. I'm bound by contract, so nobody knows my relationship status.
Wow, that's cool. No, I was just wondering, like, you know, if you were in a relationship with somebody, I could see this being kind of a strange thing for them to deal with.
Yeah, well, hypothetically speaking.
And then, in the cleanest possible illustration of who was actually in love here, Erika reveals that she had a 10-year closeted relationship before Stephanie. A decade. A whole decade of hiding. Stephanie treats this disclosure, this real, vulnerable, unpromptable, courageous moment, like a breach of contract. Not like her partner opened up, like her partner underperformed on earnings. The relationship ends shortly thereafter. Erika gets heartbreak. Stephanie gets an exit story. The exit story is more valuable than the relationship was, because the exit story is an asset and the relationship was an expense line.
Selling each jar for $1,000, although there was a time when they were on sale for $500.
$1,000 each jar of gas. This is the pivot. This is the thesis. This is the moment Stephanie Matto, recently famous YouTuber and recently single reality star, looks at her parasocial audience and performs the single most honest act of her entire public career, which is to say, I have figured out that you will literally pay for a byproduct of my body because I was on TV, and I'm going to test the ceiling of that theory. And then she tested. And the ceiling is...
They're like, why'd you eat a whole pot of black bean soup today?
I'm just a weird chick.
I just love black bean soup.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But like I told them that I work out, and that's why I was drinking so many protein shakes. And so
the diet. The diet is what I want you to hold on to. Because to generate the inventory, Stephanie ate a diet engineered for maximum gas output. Protein shakes, beans, hard-boiled eggs, in deliberate combinations. Think about that for one full second. That is a woman doing manufacturing. She had a raw input, she had a production line, she had quality control, she had packaging, she had a shipping vendor, she had a customer. This is not a reality star having a bit. This is a small business with a cap table and an inventory turnover ratio.
A heart attack, she said. It does sound like a scary experience, by the way. It was made clear that what I was experiencing wasn't a stroke or heart attack, but very intense gas pain. And by the way, she did not tell the doctor.
Christmas 2021, emergency room. Stephanie walks in with chest pain so severe they're working her up for an actual heart attack. The diagnosis, which I swear to I am not inventing, was severe gas pain, caused by the exact diet she was on to manufacture the inventory. The small business nearly killed the CEO. Most founders burn out on ambition. Stephanie Matto burned out on methane. And even that, the hospitalization, the ER visit, became content. She posted it. It trended. The emergency room was a marketing event. Most people get a hospital bill out of Christmas. Stephanie got an engagement spot.
She's trying a new side gig, fart jar NFTs, non-fungible.
So she does what any good founder does. She pivots. The physical product is destroying her. Solution, tokenize it. NFTs, fart NFTs, listed on the Ethereum blockchain at 0.05 ETH a piece. At the time, that was roughly $200 American per unit, with zero manufacturing overhead and, critically, zero hospitalization risk. Stephanie Matto, in late 2021, executed what venture capitalists, in earnest meetings with Terrible Coffee, call a digital transformation. And she executed it on methane. I'm going to need you to sit with the professionalism of that for a moment.
Selling her toots.
So I like to get things rolling with some beans, a protein muffin, sometimes even a yogurt. Less sugar is better, some hard-boiled.
Then, because the market has an apparently unlimited appetite for a woman who had an emergency room visit over gas, she pivots again. Pre-chewed food via OnlyFans. Custom at scale at a reported 4-figure daily run rate. I want you to imagine the product description meeting. I want you to imagine the lawyer approving it. I want you to imagine the customer support email that begins with the words, "My delivery arrived." Do not do any of that. Move on. Or don't. The refusal to move on is, in fact, the business model. The cringe is the moat.
$1,000 for a picture of a monkey.
If you are a senator 10 years from now,
Yeah.
you're not telling me that fart is not going to be worth something?
It will be worth something.
Right.
I feel like yours is going to be worth $1 million.
Well, it's a story.
And then, when the pre-chew market softens, which shockingly markets do, she announces on TikTok that she has been in a secret year-long relationship with a United States senator. No name, no photo, no staffer leak, no dated receipts. Just the claim, dropped onto TikTok at peak algorithmic virality, and the knowing smirk of a woman who understands that the only thing more monetizable than a fart and jar is a lie with plausible deniability. The senator was never named because the senator was never real. The senator was product. The senator was a line item on a spreadsheet. The senator was Q3 earnings. Here is the shift. Here is the second pivot. Because the Reddit consensus is that Stephanie is a closeted manipulator who used Erika for a storyline. And that's not wrong exactly, but it's the surface read. The deeper read is that Stephanie Matto is the first 90-Day Fiancé cast member who understood before TLC did that the show was not the destination. The show was the onboarding funnel. Every cast member before her got famous, did a few spin-offs, did some cameo appearances, sold a few t-shirts, faded. Stephanie did the show, left the show, and built a vertically integrated personal brand in which her own body was the raw material, her own parasocial audience was the distribution channel, and reality television was merely the customer acquisition cost. She graduated. The franchise still thinks it's a TV show. Stephanie figured out it was LinkedIn with better lighting and fewer guardrails. And once you see it that way, once you let the businesswoman framing click into place over the reality star framing, every moment on the show recontextualizes. The missed kiss with Erika is a product decision. The weeping confessional about her mother is a teaser trailer. The abrupt breakup is a Q4 inventory clearance. Even the chronic fatigue disclosures on early YouTube, which I do not take lightly, become, in retrospect, the first trial balloon for monetized vulnerability. The woman has been A/B testing her own intimacy since she could edit iMovie. That is not a villain arc. That is, depending on your politics, either a horror story or a Harvard Business Review case study, possibly both.
"90 Day Fiancé alum Stephanie Matto is back with a new business venture. And this time around, she's selling her sweat.
Sweat. She sold sweat. In jars. That was a 2023 product launch. I am not joking. Stephanie has never not had a launch. The woman has a product roadmap. She has Q3 goals. She has the launch cadence that would embarrass a seed stage Bay Area startup. She has, and I mean this with genuine respect, the operational discipline of a founder applied to the emissions of a human body. If that sentence does not make you reconsider the last decade of reality television, nothing will. And this genre-wide is the second pivot, because 90 Day Fiancé casts contestants. The franchise is actually unknowingly auditioning future founders. Stephanie is the archetype that comes next. She is what every seasoned casting department secretly dreams of. A contestant who will not age out, will not burn out, will not shut up, because her attention is her cap table, and the show was just the seed round. Watch the next decade. There will be a Stephanie on every season. The producers will not know they cast one until the HR complaint lands about fart NFTs on the company Discord.
Oh my God. I had like photo proof of me in the hospital, when the fart jar hospital story went viral.
Wow.
And my friend had it on his Snapchat, and his Snapchat got banned.
And long before the jars, and this is a receipt I want credit for surfacing, there was the fake colostomy bag scandal. Early YouTube era. Stephanie appeared in content that implied a more severe medical situation than was later alleged to be accurate, and got dragged for it online by former friends. That is the pattern. The pattern predates 90 Day. The pattern is Stephanie. Medical drama, then romantic drama, then business drama, then political drama. Each one monetized. Each one pivoted out of the moment. The yield curve flattens. This is not a woman with a storyline. This is a woman with a content calendar. To be fair, and this is where I walk it back, a little, because we do walk it back, Stephanie did come from a real place. The early YouTube content about chronic illness was, in its original form, genuine. She did grow up on the internet. She did have a mother she was genuinely scared to come out to. She did have a body that hurt. And the pivot economy she now operates in, where a creator's body, identity, illness history, and romantic life are all indistinguishable from inventory, is not a pivot economy she invented. She is a product of an incentive structure that pays more for outrage than for honesty, more for mystery than for disclosure, more for a jar of methane than for a well-written book. She didn't design the game. She just worked it better than anyone else on the show. And Erika, I do want to say this clearly before we close. Erika was treated badly, not because Stephanie was a monster, because Erika walked in a live negotiation thinking it was a love story. The sadness of the Erika arc is not that Stephanie broke her heart. It's that Stephanie could not explain, even to herself, that she had no room in her life for a partner because she was about to become a category, a SKU, a business unit. The Erika arc was the final test before launch.
With like a few of them, but I ended up selling 97.
Okay.
So I sold out.
You broke them? You drop a couple of them?
Well, one of them ended up breaking in the mail. So, like
You
that.
still sold.
Every drop since the jars has followed the same playbook. Tease, viral clip, press cycle, product page, then move. That is not a cycle somebody stumbles into. That is a cycle somebody plans.
I mean, oh God, I had to take a break, a social media break. I deactivated my Instagram account for like a week because I couldn't handle it. But then I was like, I couldn't handle also not being on social media. So then like a week later I came back and was like,
Erika, post-breakup, has been documented begging on social media, losing followers, asking publicly for help, trying to reinvent a career around a brand that frankly never had a distribution channel to begin with. That is the receipt. One of them left that relationship a brand. The other left it a cautionary tale. That is the franchise, compressed into one image. That is Stephanie's whole economic model in microcosm. Somebody always pays the storage fee on the inventory. It just wasn't going to be Stephanie. So the next time you see a headline that says, reality star sells X for Y, I want you to understand what you are looking at. You are looking at a woman who figured out, before the producers figured out, before the network figured out, before Rolling Stone figured out, that the entire economy of fame in 2026 runs on one question, and only one question, and it is this. What part of yourself are you willing to sell this quarter? Stephanie Matto's answer was all of it, efficiently, at premium margins, with a roadmap, with a burn rate, with a goddamn pitch deck probably hidden in a Google Drive somewhere titled Matto 2027, scale, monetize, exfiltrate. The rest of us sold our attention. Stephanie sold the gas that it produced. If you made it this far, you either love me or you're looking for something to yell about in the comments. Either way, like, subscribe, and tell your sister.